What's up, everybody? This is Behind the Cork. I'm your host, Eric Rocha. How are you? You guys still eating okay? I don't know. You look thin. I don't know. You should get some sun. Look at you. I mean, it's California, for fuck's sake. Get some sun. Eat something. Anyways, how are you guys? I hope your week is going well. Listen, too many fucking people are releasing their podcast on Tuesday. I mean, you got Live from the 405. I think that released Tuesday. You got The Church of What's Happening Now. There's no fucking way I'm gonna compare with fucking Joey. He's too good, man. He's too fucking good. So, anyways, I'm gonna start releasing these on Thursday because I don't know. I'm sure another badass podcast releases on Thursdays, but you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna release it on Thursday, and fuck it. We'll do it live. My guest today is the always hilarious Brendan Cooney. On Twitter, he is at Cooney or Die, Cooney or Die. Again, a funny comedian. When I'm thinking of booking this show, and I'm like, fuck, who do I want on? And there's a lot of comics out there. And it's funny because I'm starting to get really stubborn with like who I want on my show, because it's like, fuck, it's my show. But the thing of it is too is it's like I want comics that really make me fucking laugh. And anyways, Brendan Cooney is one of the top comics. I mean, I can remember watching this guy and just fucking laughing my ass up. There's not really a time where Brendan doesn't make me laugh, even when he bombs, which. What is a bomb? I mean, with that fucker, he is so fucking hilarious. He's so confident up there. It's a sight to behold. If you get a chance, follow Brendan Cooney. Check him out. He's really, really hilarious. Go do it. What are you waiting for? I just fucking said go follow him.
Hey, what are you doing here? I thought I told you to go fuck your mother.
Really quick too, it was last week by the time this will be released, but I want to say happy birthday to the Flying Jew himself, my friend Mr. Lee Syed. May you have many, many more birthdays. May we celebrate many more Hanukkahs and Passovers. And just a quick word about Passover. It was always believed by a lot of people in my family that on Passover that the Jews drank blood.
Well, that's just not true. Not anymore.
Happy birthday, buddy. I love you, Lee Syed. But now, Brendan Cooney.
I don't know no better, so let's blame the weather, 'cause I got no care when I hit my groove. 'Cause I got no care when I hit my groove.
I feel like everything is an adventure with you, a little bit.
You think so?
Even just going to the movies and then we went to Veggie Grill.
Oh, yeah, dude. I showed you a whole new world, Veggie Girl. People hate on it, but it's so good.
And you were like, it was funny because you told me, you're like, yeah, you had to try the tea. It's really good.
Yeah.
And then you were like, I'm not sure if this was the right tea.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as I remembered it. And I don't know. I still don't know if it was actually, if I changed, is it the right tea? I don't know. I'm like I forgot about that because I haven't been back, but it definitely is a bummer.
Sometimes I'll sit and I'll see something and I'll know you'll be in the room, and I'm just wondering. I'm like, I wonder what Brendan is thinking about this right now, and this is the best thing. Then I'll feel like a little vibrate in my pocket, and it'll be you texting me whatever it is you thought about.
About a comedian.
It'll be something ridiculous that'll like, oh God, who the fuck is this person?
There's this guy I don't know, but I've already written him off. I've seen him once, and during a set I sent you a picture of Gumby fucking a horse because he's tall, and I think he was talking about like a horse or something. Like, this is what he does. Look at this picture I just found of insert bad comics name.
That's one thing that I absolutely love about a mic with you is whenever some weird shit happens,
Yeah.
It's always interesting. But
Yeah. A lot of weirdos at the fourth wall.
how long have you been doing it?
Comedy?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, probably like 4 or 5 years, but I've been doing it since like at least 2012, because that's when I moved out here, and I did it a little bit back home too.
Just a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I hosted an open mic, but I would do stand-up like once a week, or sometimes go in the city. I had a street joke that I kept doing.
Really? Do you not do it anymore?
No, I didn't know it was a street joke. I'm so dumb that a friend of mine told me the joke, and I asked him, I was like, dude, that's such a funny story. Can I use that? And then I just did it. It was about throwing hams. I don't know if anyone's ever heard the throwing hams street joke, but it was also racist too. So
What was it?
it's just like I'm in line at the grocery store, and this woman is behind me, and all of a sudden a whole ham falls out of her dress onto the floor, and she like doesn't want to get caught. She goes, "Who be throwing hams? Who be throwing hams?" That was the whole joke. And it was my best joke for a year, maybe longer.
And you didn't know it was a street joke?
Not at all. I didn't even have like an inkling that it might not be real. I accepted that the cook at the restaurant I worked at was telling me the truth, even though nothing he said was ever true. I have funny stories about him too. That guy.
You have this fucking energy that is so subdued, but when you get on stage, it's like whenever you'll do an act out, it cracks me up because it's like you go for it, and I never see you animated in real life.
That's good to hear. I'm glad. Sometimes I think I'm not going for it, like because when I do an act out, I don't know, people say I have an expressionless face, so they're like, I don't know. But I'm glad to hear you say that. That's good.
No, it cracks me up because whenever you go up, and I don't mean this as an insult, but people will be like, okay, all right, this is a white guy that's doing stand-up.
Right.
I've
one
seen
of the best.
people like but I even remember on YouTube one of the things, because it was when I first came to LA and I started looking at open mics, there was one, I think it was Instant Karma, or where the hell was it?
You mean
Karma
the one
Lounge.
that oh yeah,
Yeah.
Karma Lounge, yeah.
So I remember I saw you go up and you did really well. And you had really good jokes, and then you shit on another comic for doing something. And I remember I got really nervous because when I saw you, I was like, "Oh God!" Like, I don't know what I'd do if he did that to me. Like, I don't, he's got
man.
better jokes than I do, and he's witty. I was like, surely we must destroy him or something. But then I remember I went another time, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go there, and I'm gonna do a set, and whatever." And Adam Furberg was there, and he was hosting.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay." That mic didn't last. It lasted a while, but when I really started trying to get into it, it fucking ended.
Yeah, I think Furberg gave up doing it at one point. He was Wednesdays and I was Thursdays, but I don't remember. I remember the first time I saw you was at, or I guess I must have missed you at that, was at the Good Night, and you like destroyed there. It was either there or that, what is it, Resilog or Reservoir, whatever the other thing that Menente. That's the third.
Oh yeah,
could have been
that
the
was
third, fourth wall.
The
These inside jokes, they're gonna crush.
Yeah, that was that bar mic, right?
Yeah, I was like, damn, this guy's hilarious. You were talking about the bear and Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
Oh my
or
God.
you compared yourself to the bear. That was good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. I remember you crushing that room. But what was funny too was it was me and another comic named Brock Walters.
Yeah.
We didn't know you well, but for some reason we were really intimidated by you.
Really?
Yeah, it was just, I think it was because you were, not to kiss your ass, but you were really funny. And what really got us was I think it was him, I'd shown him this thing you put on YouTube. And it was, I think you titled it Me Talking Shit to Comics.
Yeah. At Mike's, yeah. I used to put that out.
And you had the funniest fucking joke and I can't even remember who it was. And dude, I don't want to burn your material, but
It's not
I have
material.
to-
I mean,
I have to tell you this. So it was, I can't remember who it was, but she kind of shit on you a little bit, and she's like, "Here he is, Brendan Cooney." And then you said, "Thank you, big." I don't know her name, Sarah, whatever.
Katie
Thank you,
Marion.
yeah, big.
I don't remember.
Big hand for Katie, and you go, "She eats the corn right out of the can, folks."
I don't know where I came up with that. I think I might have seen her eating canned corn or something. She's from Missouri or Kansas or one of those hick places where they do that. She brought it out to L.A. No shame. Willing to eat corn out of a can at an open mic outside, probably, where people in Kansas and Missouri always are. I'm outside. Where do you bring that here? It was at her apartment. Who knows?
Anybody got a can opener? Need a can opener.
I'm just gonna. If it was at her apartment, it'd be even funnier because that means that she's eating it at a party in front of people.
Heating it on a Zippo lighter.
Dirty Kansas trash. I'll tell her to listen to this. She's so easily offended.
which entitles you to do it even more. I love it. No, because that's one thing about you. I don't know how often you roast. I don't consider myself a roast comic, but I have to say you really have an affinity for it. Like, even
Thanks.
just fucking around. Is that something that you would want to do, or is it just something you like doing?
I mean, I don't know. I tried at mics. I try not to do it as much unless somebody brings it upon, like they're like you being a dick or something. They like mess with me or whatever. But I liked when I used to do the roast, and then I lost, and I was like, I can't take it. I can't take losing. It's just so
Really?
embarrassing.
Was it really embarrassing for you?
I just hated it, and I would act, I'm not a good loser, I'm a poor sport. So like, then my reaction to losing was even more embarrassing than losing a lot of times. I yelled, I was like, I'll never be back here again. And somebody who was trying to be like, you did good. There's this one comic who's funny, Jeff Dye. I think his name is Jeff Dye. You know that guy? Mm-hmm. And he was like, dude, you did great. And I was like, whatever, dude. And he was like, fine, then fuck you, asshole. That made me laugh really hard. I was like, he's right. I am an asshole. Fine, then fuck you, asshole. And he walked away. It's like, that guy has so much wisdom. He knows. He gets it.
Was this at the store?
Yeah.
So how many roast battles did you do?
6.
No kidding. How many did you win?
3. One of them was so embarrassing because I got too drunk and I botched jokes and I attacked the crowd. I called everybody a loser. I was like, I don't know why I thought I would still win when I. So dumb, man. Changed my life. If I'd won that, everything would be different. Oh well. Take another sip of Coors Light. I don't know. Yeah, I know. I like making jokes. I mean, we're still new comics, really. I guess in the grand scheme of things, and so I'll do material, but then sometimes I won't have material or I don't have it planned out. So like, if the crowd wants to talk, then they'll roast me or I'll roast them or like I'll roast myself. Sometimes people are laughing at me, not my jokes. Like what I'm wearing, and I can tell. And I'm just like, so what is it? I'm just like, so you guys think I'm a piece of shit? Is that what? Are you making fun of my shirt? Is it my shirt?
Are you an angry comic?
Sometimes, I guess, yeah. Last night I yelled at the people at other door. I started doing a joke that was working, and I was like, I would finish it if you'd laughed in the first 2 minutes. But you don't deserve the rest of this joke. I was kind of kidding that time. But yeah, I get mad at fourth wall all the time. You seen it?
It's funny though, because I don't know. Whenever you're on the lineup, I never see you do bad. I know that sounds
do bad.
stupid, but it's you always have something that cracks me up. And the thing of it is even if you do a joke that doesn't work, there's something in you that like you'll set it up good and it'll be a funny joke, but it just won't land on the audience.
Yeah.
And you'll kind of stop and you'll go, Yeah, fuck you people.
I know I need to like work on my anger.
But it makes me laugh because I don't know if it's real anger. You like you project it onto the audience most definitely. But what's funny is it's like I don't know if he meant it when he told us we could all suck a bag of dicks.
Oh yeah, most of the time I don't mean it, especially at Fourth Wall. I mean, if I'm saying that to those people there are my friends for the most part. Most of the time it's like a joke or defense or I don't know. Sometimes I told everybody at Silver Lake Lounge once that I hope they all got into a car accident and died on the way home, and I totally meant it. And I got a big laugh, so I think they know they deserved it, and they should. I think, like, I don't know. Fourth Wall, the reason that you may have never seen me bomb or whatever is because I've never seen you bomb. Like, when we're there together, we enjoy each other's comedy. Like, and we're also, like, there are a lot of great comics that go there, but they're also, like, mostly, like, trash that goes there. And so it's like we watch people that are horrible, and then we're good or, you know, sort of good, and we can watch each other, and then there's other. And if you think I'm talking about you, probably not, because most of the people, we're friends with most of the people, but I mean, it's just you go there, and this open mic, like every other open mic, just full of people that are awful, and some that are good.
It is fascinating how to get good we have to brush elbows with really, really good and really, really terrible.
Yeah.
You know, I was telling somebody, like, it's funny, I remember back when Fourth Wall wasn't slotted. It was just one big, long fucking list. And you would see, like, you, Andy Picaro, Rob Puglisi, and then I don't give a fuck, I'll say his name, Kevin...
Suskevich?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And he would be like smack dab, and then like right after him it'd be like Justin Foster, and, you know,
yeah,
and it was just right there, and I mean he would just sink the boat, and it was so like, and I guess it used to piss me off because he was somebody that didn't try. It was just somebody that was up there to fuck around on a microphone, and all of you guys had these very well written, and you know you were actually performing the joke. You know, it wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna say this and it's just gonna, you know, I want to see if it lands. No, you guys were actually trying to perform the bit,
right?
Because it did teach me a lot in a sense of like, okay, are you really ready to do this bit? Is it in performance shape? Because if it's not, I think that there's a quality thing where it's like, okay, I don't want to bomb in front of you. And it's, you know, that's, I guess, the best compliment I can give you is like, you're somebody I fucking, if I don't do well in front of you, I get angry.
Really?
And I would lash out like at the audience. I'd be like, oh, you motherfuckers. Like, I know I'm not that funny, but the fucking shit you were laughing at earlier, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, and I'll be saying this in my car as I'm punching the steering wheel. Just fucking cocksucker son of a...
Well, it's totally fine to say that to people at Fourth Wall. I mean, most of them deserve it whether you do well or you don't do well. I don't know. I mean, like, I think that with us, I'm not as worried about it because I feel like we're close friends now. So it's like I just enjoy watching you do stand up. But the people that make me nervous are like Joey, or like, you know, anybody like that.
Yeah.
That guy makes me so nervous. But yeah.
It was funny when he would walk into the room. Well, yeah, you were there. Were you there when he was coming around?
Briefly. Not really. Like, I only saw him, like, at the tail end. Like, I saw him at that other place, the weird roomie. Was it roomie or whatever? Mm-hmm. And then once or twice at Fourth Wall, just bombing in front of him. Yeah.
I remember he would sit there and he had this look where it was just so, like, it was something more painful than bored.
I bet. He's like
would...
Bobby Fischer watching, like, a dude that is mentally challenged, or, you know, whatever the correct version of that is. Play chess. Oh, man. I take it back. I take it back.
Really, there goes my podcast.
I know. I've crashed it. I'm the first controversial guest.
I thought it would have been Josh Potter.
No, he didn't say
turned
him.
out to
No,
be Cooney. Yeah.
no, I know he's. No, not Josh.
Have you ever gone too far with a comic where you were giving him shit?
I'm trying to think. I'd have to think about that. I think I'm pretty nice, but there may have been. You'd have to. I don't know. I'd have to think about it for a while. Nothing I feel bad about off the top of my head, though. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm trying to think if I've ever pushed anybody. I'll tell you one interesting thing. Did you ever do, what the hell was the mic? Oaks Tavern?
Yeah.
So we were talking about this a long time ago. But Jeff Carrizales was a comic that I loved watching.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he just,
Yeah.
that was a guy that I'd see go into a room and just the energy would change. And I always respected him for that. And I remember at Oaks Tavern, he was trying to do this rape joke. But I loved that he was like that. Like,
Yeah.
he really did use open mics for their intended purpose. Like,
Right.
I'm really going to try this. And there were 2 lesbians that would do the mic that ran it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was only 1 lesbian at the time. But then there was a whole group of like, there was one big dude that was gay, and another guy that was there, and he was, I don't know, there were a couple gay people and like a metrosexual or whatever the fuck you would call him now. Anyways, Jeff goes up, he does this rape joke, we laugh, and you know everybody's just kind of they're just looking at it, they don't know what to make of him. And we're loving it. I mean, it was me, Rob, and a couple other people that had been doing open mics pretty regularly. And so then the guy goes up after him, and it's this big gay dude. I don't remember who it was. And he gets on the mic, and he just goes, "You ever just see somebody and you wish they would quit?"
Oh.
And Jeff is just sitting there, and dude just taking it on the chin, doesn't say anything.
Yeah, he probably doesn't care.
And he's like, "No, because you see these people and you see them at open mics and you're like, Jesus Christ, what are they even doing here?" And finally Jeff starts clapping. He just starts he's like, "Yeah, come on, big boy." And we start laughing. Laughing.
Yeah.
And he goes, and that pissed the guy off.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Really, Jeff, just shut the fuck up and go." And then automatically Jeff is like, "Yeah, come on, keep going, keep it coming. And he's like, "People laughed at my shit." And he's like, look. And he points at this table of black people and he goes, "They liked it, didn't you? And they were like, "Yeah, we loved you." He's like, see, they know the truth.
They know the truth.
And we started laughing because we really did love, even just the attempt at trying to go there with a joke.
Right.
It was so fucking great. It was refreshing. And what I'll never forget is the host turned around and she was like, "You know what? You need to stop.
To Jeff or the big guy?
To Jeff."
Oh, yeah.
And the big guy just kept pointing at Jeff and just talking shit. And he's like, "You're not funny. Nobody likes you. We tolerate you." And it was like, calm the fuck down. Like he was like the authority on comedy. And he laid into Jeff. And finally Jeff was talking back. He's like, "Yeah, lay it on me, big boy. Come on, big fella. Come on." And the bartender walked over and he's like, "If you don't shut your mouth, you're going to be fucking out of here." And he pointed to Jeff. And Jeff looks at him and goes, he's literally talking to me.
Yeah.
And he goes, what do you want me to do? He's talking to me. And he goes, "You heard what I said. Open your fucking mouth again and you're out." Mm-hmm. And I looked at Rob and I was like, this is bullshit. It is so much bullshit. And then Jeff is sitting there and he's quiet. And he's like, "Thank you." And the fucking guy said another thing. He's like, "Okay, all right, that's good. He's like, "Come on, all right, hit us with your act. Give us a joke.
Yeah.
And that bartender's like, "I warned you once." And the host's like, "All right, just enough. Stop." And Jeff's like, "Okay, all right, just do a joke. Let's hear a joke." And the guy does this joke about donuts. and it fucking falls so flat. It was like Jeff had cursed him, dude. It was so funny. It just falls so flat, and it's like he does it da da da, and there's silence until you hear Jeff go, "Woo, yeah, yeah, fat guy talking about donuts. That's really pushing the envelope." Dude, we were laughing so fucking hard, and it was just I absolutely loved that because it was just what an intended open mic was for.
Yeah.
And it was just to be there among shitty people, among comics that had been doing it for a while. And I remember Jeff coming to us, and I was like, dude, that's fucking bullshit. And they told him not to come back for a while. Mm-hmm. The host was as gracious as, I guess, somebody that did something fucked up could be.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was like, maybe if you didn't come here for a little while.
I try to tell that to Jeff at random places I see him. Just like, maybe if you don't come back to this corner where I'm standing for a while. But I met that fat guy, like, imagine thinking that you're like, oh, it's so surprising that you made it awkward and weird, and then your joke doesn't land. Wow, what a shocker. So dumb. Everybody involved is dumb, Jeff. I mean, I don't blame I've wanted to kick Jeff out of places. I don't blame the bartender at all. It's probably not even, he was just looking for a reason. Jeff is so annoying, but that is hilarious. And he should be able to talk back. It's so easy to make fun of Jeff. Like, all he talks about a lot of times is roofing. He's like talking about how people aren't shit because they don't know how to do roofing. He's like, you guys probably never even done a roof before. What? Most people, like, their diss would be like, I don't know, you don't know how to fix a tire or whatever, but he goes straight to roofing. In his mind, that's the most important thing.
You know what, though?
I do like.
I gotta be honest. The roofing is the shittiest job I've ever done in my life.
Really?
Oh, God, dude. It's fucking miserable. Roofing is what made me say I need to try harder.
That hasn't motivated you at all.
There was a guy, I remember, I roofed two houses in my life. And the first time, the guy was like, I was up there with, most everybody didn't speak English, and the one guy was like Rudy, who was short for like Rudolph, whatever the fuck his name was. And everybody just called him Rudy. And he'd be like, jingle, give me jingle. And I'm like, all right, here. And he's like, no, more, I need more jingles. And this guy, I was like, don't you use like a nail gun? And he's all, nail gun. And he started like cursing me in Spanish, and he's like, here. And he had like 5 nails in his mouth, and he would put one like and it was like a machine, dude. Just, he would put it down, hammer, put it down, hammer, put it down, hammer. So we had to get into a rhythm of like shingle, hammer, hammer, shingle, hammer, hammer, shingle, hammer, hammer.
Wow.
And I remember, like, when we were done, I looked and like 3 of his fingers were bleeding.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
That's insane.
And he was like, oh, it's okay. This is work. This is what you do now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't ever want to do this again.
I know. I wonder how good that guy is at stand-up. You think he's better than Jeff? He goes up there like, hey.
Look at my fingers.
Look at these fingers are bleeding because I fucked your mom. She's on her period. Bleeding. Dude, Jeff, I can't. How much bad behavior can you excuse with brain trauma? How much can be excused? I ask myself that every time he makes me mad. I'm like, so if I punch him in the face, does he still have the Marine level physique to win a fight with me? I
bet he does. I wouldn't want to fuck with him.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, me, I'm not good at fighting. I won't. But
have you been in a lot of fights?
I have. I've
Really?
lost to all of them. I'm not good at fighting. But I would like to see John Parr beat up Jeff Carcelis once.
Why John Parr?
Because I know that. I mean, because he's always like making John mad.
Oh, really?
He like pushes him to the point where John's just like, maybe I should just beat him up just once.
What's the biggest rivalry you've seen on the open mic scene?
The biggest rivalry?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know about the biggest one, but I know that one that sticks out of my mind is how, and I probably shouldn't even talk about it, but like how Kenny used to have just this irrational hatred of Pat Reagan. You ever hear about that? God,
Well,
he hates Pat.
He had a list of a few people.
Right. That great. a list of 100 people that get booked too much, but then after it got to 50, it was just chicks that he wants to sleep with, and they weren't even like, he wasn't even talking about other bad. He was just like, why doesn't she date me? Dude, Kenny's hilarious.
You know, I think I've met him once. I never saw him do stand-up, though.
I mean, sometimes he's great.
I've heard that, too.
He's like a funny guy, and he used to be motivated by comedy. I don't know how much I should talk about him, but I just feel like there's a shift there where he kind of like is doing something else now. I don't know.
I hope it's still comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Sorry, I hear echoes sometimes in this apartment, so maybe it's not a safe place to live.
No, there's like a couple outside. They're happy.
Is that what
Excuse
that
me, what's
sound
that
is?
like?
Yeah, I hate Kevin Suskevich. But you know what I always said? I think if there was a shooter, it would probably be Kevin.
A lot of people say that, but I mean, he's like a hobo, and like he just seems like it doesn't strike me as the shooter type. He's just very annoying. He's definitely like weird around chicks.
Oh yeah,
so that's the worst part. Is like he's talking to all these chicks. I'm like, I don't know. Am I supposed to just kick him out? Because that's what I did that one time.
I was just going to bring that. One of the funniest things I remember is we were at this open mic, and we're at Fourth Wall, and he's sitting there, and he's just annoying the fuck out of everybody because somebody would do a joke, and he'd be like, "Oh my god, that's right. Yep, that's right. Yep, yeah, that's perfect. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's not true at all. Oh god. Oh my god, that's terrible." And I remember I was like, he turned around, he looked at me, and I go, "Fucking turn around, turn around," and he just turned around, and I couldn't believe he did it, but
yeah, he's a bitch. He does whatever you tell him to do.
So I remember you go up, and it was the funniest fucking thing because do you remember what you did that night?
Sort of.
I'll let you do your side, and then I'll tell what up.
It's okay. You want me to say what I remember? I just remember when I went in there, I immediately didn't like this guy. I don't know if I'd seen him before or not, but he was sitting next to that Mary Elaine Ramsey, and he was just like being really weird with her, and then this other girl. And I remember thinking, like, just tell him to move or whatever, you know. But I wasn't sure if they were friends or whatever. So I was already like, I hate this guy. And then I went up and he started talking during my set, and I was like, you gotta go, get out of here. I don't want to. No, sorry, I paid. You gotta leave. I didn't even think he was on the thing. I thought he was just some hobo. And so he like leaves or whatever, and everybody's laughing because I said that. And I guess I must have done it in a funny way. And then so I start bombing immediately after that, just like no jokes landing. And I'm like, the only funny part of my set was when I kicked that guy out. So bring him back in so I can kick him out again as a joke. And then dumbass Joe Menente goes outside and like brings him back in. I'm like, what are you doing? I wasn't serious. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. You can't come back in here. So he's like, okay. And he just gets right back up and walks outside again.
It was so fucking
what
funny.
A weird.
Dude, and this is what was so great, though. Joe was militant about it. Kevin, hey, they need you back in here. He
like, why
got
would
up
you,
and he
what?
came back up.
Joe Menente, one of my best friends in comedy. We never hang out, but he's in my heart always. Why would he do that?
I was kind of shocked he did it.
Yeah.
Because he was like, Kevin, they need you. And it was very, like, in that Joe Menente tone. It was like, hey, get back in here. Hurry. And, like, it was hurry up and get in there so we can kick you the fuck out.
Joe, like, he was like, Cooney's bombing. I want him to do well again. Otherwise, he won't come back.
Didn't you have
Fair point.
some kind of...
I'm always one step. I'm very close to not ever coming back.
Did you have a because the other thing too is I'll do it at the beginning of the show, but what is your Twitter handle?
My Twitter is Cooney or Die.
Cooney or Die. So you have some of the best fucking tweets too, because I remember you tweeting something about being you finally got to be a paid regular at the Fourth Wall.
I got the call this morning. Been waiting my whole life. I got a paid regular at Fourth Wall. You guys can get there someday too. Basically, you don't have to pay $5 anymore. Yeah, I'm passed. Eric's passed. Rob is passed. Andy Picaro's passed, but he'll never go there again. He's too good. Maddie Chimmer's passed. No women are passed. It's like even more regressive than any other comedy club ever, or Mike.
And then I remember too, because we got close. We went to a movie. What was it? We got to see. The Dead Don't Die.
Oh yeah.
And I remember sitting there, and I was like, "All right, cool. Like Cooney and I were cool. It's finally happening. It's awesome." And then I was like, "God, this movie's fucking terrible. If this is any indication of our friendship."
I was so glad. I was so worried that you liked the movie. I was like, "Oh God, what if he likes this movie? This kid." I was praying the whole time. It was like getting nervous. Like if he likes this movie, it was so bad.
It was.
It was boring, and the joke. Oh man, they really don't have any kind of like knowledge of humor. Like nobody, even Bill Murray. Like I don't know, I guess he just must have read the lines or something.
Apparently, I mean, I was like, "Is this a favor?"
Yeah,
'Cause it was insane. It was so not funny. And I didn't get it. But then, obviously, we went to Veggie Grill. But one thing, when we went to Amoeba, and you had kind of fleshed out this Nanette thing, because you had this ongoing joke, and people were legitimately confused. They were like, "Does he like really like Nanette? Or
yeah.
does he?
They don't.
Does he not?"
People still don't know, and I'll never say. People really don't know. They're like, he's either like super on board with Nanette, or it's just like, I remember what? Yeah, you'll never know. But I love Nanette. I think so. I think that the Super Bowl halftime show should be Nanette live. My earthquake survival kit is just Nanette, and then a phone charger so I can keep listening to Nanette. Hannah Gatsby.
Well, I remember
One of the greats.
We found a photo booth, and I was like, "Brendan, let's take pictures in this photo booth." And you were like, "Yeah, that's a good idea. Hang on a second." And you ran somewhere, and you're like, "I'll be right back." And I was like, "Okay." And I'm like sitting in the booth looking at how it works and whatever. And the next thing you know, you come with the Nanette vinyl. On vinyl, and you said, "Do you think we can get this in the shot?" And you looked at it and you go, "I'm serious. Is there any way to get this in the shot?"
Yeah, I thought that would be the funniest bit ever. As usual, no one cares. It was like us three. We're just at Amoeba, and we're like, "Oh, Nanette, yes."
I think you told me one time you did a tweet, and I think I was in it, and you did it, and then like the next day you told me, you were like, yeah, I hate to tell you this, but it only got like 2 legs.
Yeah, that picture of when I said that the dogs died at fourth wall, because I thought people would think dogs dying were funny. I'm not always gonna hit my sense of humor.
And you said it like you were a band manager that was canceling the tour.
It's still up. It's funny you like put full acting into the picture. It was on Instagram. Nobody cares. Who was that? Dogs are dead?
Oh, God.
Unfollow. People unfollow probably.
But yeah, you would like... Have you ever gotten shit over your tweets?
No. But I just posted... I posted a picture... Or no, I mean, I posted my stand-up of the Michael... Like, I have that Michael Jackson bit. It's like 3 minutes where I'm making fun of Michael Jackson. And, like, this doesn't bother me at all. I'm happy that people are watching it. But I have something like 20 downvotes or something like that. And I haven't looked at the comments. I've been seeing notifications today at work. And I've seen 3 notifications where people call me a buffoon. And I think it's weird that they're using the word buffoon. Like, because the first day I posted it, somebody called me a buffoon. But now there's like 4 comments on the YouTube page where they're like, this guy is a buffoon. I don't know why they use that word.
Buffoon.
It's like, what, this is my dad? It's like a word that my dad uses. What a buffoon. But yeah, I mean, that's the closest thing I've gotten to negative feedback about anything I've done, really. Yeah. Have you gotten negative stuff?
I've been asked not to use the word fag.
By who?
Gay people.
Like gay comics or just gay audience members?
One of them was a gay comic.
Luke?
Other people.
Luke's grandfather, who got sexually assaulted by who is it? Peter Lorre.
Peter Lorre, yeah.
Peter Lorre fucked Luke's grandfather in the ass. If you're wondering, Luke Allen. You don't know him, but he interviewed Mark Norman, and his grandfather had oral with Luke Perry. Oh, wait, not Luke Perry. Peter Lorre.
Fuck it is.
Both Luke Perry and Peter Lorre before Luke died. After Peter after Peter Lorre died.
I'm just gonna let you go.
Luke's grandfather's had a lot of gay sex. But yeah, no, you're saying though people told you not to say that. I don't say the F word. I'm not a rebel.
I don't know. I've heard people say like, "Oh, you can get away with saying it because it's right." People,
why? Why can you get away with what? You should do that, Joseph. Why?
Why? I don't understand.
Can you explain to me and use the word when you say it? You're canceled.
I think the annoying thing about it though is it's like they'll suggest other tags instead of fag, and it's
my God.
I had a joke about it was essentially about getting pulled over, or we were in an Uber, and it really happened. It was like this Russian guy, and he was saying, he's like, "Oh, you're going to a gay bar," and I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Huh, yeah, you wouldn't be getting away with that where I come from."
Oh no.
Which made me kind of laugh. And I go,
but you're not gonna Chechnya me, right?
And I was like, yeah. And I go, oh, not a big fan, huh? And he goes, oh, this, what's gonna become my fags? And I was like, whoa. And I was all I recognized was fags. And I was like, okay. I go, you can stop the car. And he was like, no. Come on. And I'm like, no, dude, let me out of your fucking car. I don't want to give you my money.
Yeah.
And he's like, come on. It's nothing is wrong here. And I was like, dude, let me out. I go, I don't want to be in this car anymore. And I got out and I like wrote, the Uber. I gave him like 1 star.
Hell yeah.
Because his car did smell good.
The star was for the smell.
It's a very, very good smelling star.
Hateful motherfucker. As for Breeze.
But cherry blossom.
It was somebody that was just in the car.
I know, right? It was another gay guy that got out earlier. Is that lavender? So, no, and this is what really made me laugh, though, was I wrote, like, yeah, he said this, and he muttered something fag. And, dude, usually, like, if you email anybody for customer service, it takes a while.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers got back to me in, like, an hour.
Nice.
And they were like, "Oh my God, we would, one of our representatives wants to talk to you on the phone, and all this and that." And like, they were just like, "We're so sorry. Is there anything we could, what was his name and blah blah blah." And I sent them all the information. I was like, "Look, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just because a company can't help it if that guy was like that." But the joke was like, "Fuck, I should have pressed him a little harder." I was like, because then I was like, I could have probably gotten a boat. And then I said I would have called the boat the SS Faggot. And I would have just, rode the boat in front of like the Coast Guard and like a Speedo. Well, the guy that heard the joke was like, "Yeah, that's a funny joke, but do you have to say faggot?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's what the guy said."
Yeah.
And he goes, "What if you said butt pirate?"
The SS butt pirate.
And I kind of looked at the person. I was like,
that's worse.
Ooh. But, and it just kind of annoyed me because it's like, no, like, just that shit again about policing words just annoys the shit out of me.
I mean, yeah, especially if you're gay, then of course. I think probably anybody should be able to say anything Because most of the time, I think people, if they're intent, most people get like they can read a person and they see how they are, so like they're not as offended. That's why people that you might think are like edgy comedians have a following, is because people watch them and they're just like, well, I see what they're doing. You know, like this is their take on something. Whereas like when it's really offensive, you can kind of tell. So like if you're a gay, I know tons of gay comics that say the F word. It's like whatever. I've said it once, and well, not once, once. I've said it once. Can you imagine if I get on a podcast and be like, I've said it one time. It was when I was 14, and I wonder if there's anyone who's said the F word once. One time, and they're like, because I really hate gay people. I hate them so much that I said it once. No, but I
shouted at a group of foreign students.
I used to have a joke about Starbucks where I used it, but it was kind of dumb. I don't remember what it is. But then the one time it did land was the roast battle.
Really?
Yeah, the John Mitchell. Mm-hmm. I've told you the joke, right?
No.
I said that John Mitchell is a screenwriter. He's actually writing a story about his life. The working title is Boring Faggot. And like the roast battle crowd is like, oh, he said the F word. This is the best joke ever. If only he said something about Jews. Yeah. But yeah, no, not proud of it, even though I said it again as if I was. But yeah, no, I don't have any killer material with it.
But that's kind of what bothers me is, you know, you have one argument saying, and I get the, I guess, the sentiment behind not wanting to hear it, but I don't know. I guess I come at it from a different approach because, quite honestly, I wasn't teased.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, I think a lot of it was because I was in the closet in high school. And, you know, it didn't really...
Yeah.
And I mean, I think people knew it, but I played football, so...
The joke you have about the guy watching you play, Eric, great job! You're like, you have to be quiet.
You've got to shut the fuck up.
Everyone's going to know. Good job, Eric! Woo! That's so fucking funny.
Well, that was like the weird thing, too, is I remember in theater school, like, there was one, it's my ex, and of all the people, like, he was a little bit more effeminate, which he might listen to this, so I don't want to answer any mean text messages or anything like that, but he was like, I remember we were talking about some movie, and I was like, oh yeah, I've got that movie, and he's like, oh, we should go watch it. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. So we went to my room to watch it, and whatever, I made a move on him, and like, he reciprocated it. He was like, oh my God. And I was like, what? And he's like, no, wow. I thought so, but I wasn't sure. And I was like, oh my God. Damn, and it was just, crazy. It was a creepy, like, oh fuck. And thank God he wasn't like a malicious asshole. He was an amazing person about it, but he was just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And I was like, I can't believe it.
That is nuts. I mean, I don't know if it's different now with kids. It probably is, but it's like did you know anybody else that was gay back then?
You know what it was weird about it was people acted different, and that was kind of the weird. That's where I think 100% of my material comes from, is feeling as an outcast for not being more effeminate. Oh. And it was just a weird thing because, like, yeah, there were gay people in my town. There was, like, 3 of them. Like, I left, and then it was like, yeah, I was, like, I was 25% of the gay community in my town. But, like, it's funny because I'll go there now, and it'll be like, I'll open up my Grindr, and, like, my family knows, so I'll open up my Grindr, and I'm like, oh, shit, look, so-and-so's gay. And they'll be like, oh my God, are you serious? And I was like, oh, whoops. Like, maybe I shouldn't out certain people. Oh. And like one thing happened where I opened it up and I looked and I was like, oh my God. I was like, did you know this person was gay? And I was like, this is, I don't want to out the person. I was like, yeah, this person's gay. And then they were like, hey, interested in meeting up? And I was like, aren't you so-and-so? And he was like, boop, blocked. And I was like, ooh. But that's how small I think our town was like something outrageous. I'm sure it's more now, but I think it was like 5,000. My graduating class was 94.
Yeah, I had a
students.
small class too. Mine was like that.
Where are you from? Originally, Virginia, right?
Yeah, but I went to like a hippie high school, so it was small classes.
What do you mean hippie?
Well, like we called our teachers by their first names, we get to pick our classes, and
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Like from high school, right? Like
middle school and high school.
wow.
Yeah.
So you have like how many classes, and then you just pick which ones you want to take?
You in middle school you don't get as much choice, but in high school, yeah, basically you pick whatever classes you want to take, and you pick when you take them, and then there's like free blocks. That's what they're called, where you just get an hour to think. So like as senior year, I basically didn't go to school. I was like, here's a bunch of free blocks that I've made for myself, where I'm going to think about not waking up in the morning, smoking, drinking.
Were you a big partier in high school?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, not crazy, but yeah, whenever like I could. But I mean, I wasn't like drinking a lot or whatever. But yeah, I got into college. You know, when you're like in the senior year and you like you're gonna go to school or whatever, and some kids get in early.
Yeah.
And then the second half of the year is just like you just do enough so that you can still go to school. That's what I did. But yeah.
Did you know right away you wanted to do stand-up?
No. I always like love comedy, and I used to listen to Eddie Murphy a lot and Eddie Griffin a lot.
I liked Eddie Griffin too.
Yeah. And
Voodoo Child is one of my favorites.
I don't remember the names of the Eddie Griffin. I remember he had some joke about like like an officer talking to black guys. You remember that one? That one's I can't repeat it. But he fuck like rabbits. But that like me and my best friend, we used to listen to like Eddie Murphy over and over again, and Eddie Griffin, and I listened to Carlin and Pryor. I think I don't know. I might watch Pryor or listen. I don't know. But you used to be able to download it. Mm-hmm. That's how I would listen. It was like I think he would download and I'd listen to whatever. And I always liked it, but I never started it until after college.
Wow. So were you one of the funniest people in your class?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, those losers. Okay, of course I was
at your hippie school.
Yeah, I got voted most likely to be stand up.
Of course I was.
Yeah, dude,
I
those
just
people
love that you
weren't
said,
funny
of
at
course
all.
I was. I'm gonna leave if you keep asking terrible questions.
Fucking yeah, yeah, and I like I always wanted to do comedy, but I just never thought. I just went before comedy. I don't know if you thought this. I was like, I looked at people doing stand up. I was like, that's impossible. How do you even write a joke?
I thought that too. Even just to write a joke, I still don't know how to write a joke. No.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Maybe I was right though. I can't do it. This could be the reason. Who knows? But yeah, dude, I was like, dude, that's impossible. I don't know how these people think of this stuff. Eddie Murphy, dude, that's like one of the greatest stand-ups ever.
We were talking about the comedians in cars getting coffee.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. The Eddie one.
Yeah, the one thing that really stuck out to me was because they're talking about him doing stand-up again, and you know, there's like something on the ballpark of like a $70 million contract that I saw in some magazine, and I'm just like, well, fuck, like that's a lot of pressure on yourself to do stand-up. And I'm like, but, you know, the guy getting paid, whatever. And in my head, I'm just thinking of the monetary gain. And I'm like, fuck, is he worth $70 million? He hasn't done it in a while. And in that episode of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, there's one moment where he was talking about, they were talking about apes going crazy and like ripping the face off somebody, like, you know, in the stories they've read. Yeah. And he was talking about the monkey that, the chimpanzee that Michael Jackson had.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And what was funny, yeah, Bubbles. And Eddie said, he goes, you know, because when we went to Michael's house, there were a couple times where, you know, he still had Bubbles. And he said, but he was an older chimpanzee. And he goes, and they had to cage him up because as he got older, he got aggressive.
And Jerry Seinfeld just kind of listened to it. And you hear Eddie Murphy go, yeah, so we go over to Michael's house, and Michael be like, don't go over there and touch that monkey, Eddie. And he did such a dead-on Michael Jackson that all of the financial shit in my head just disappeared. And I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot how brilliant he was at just impressions and fucking the act-outs, dude.
Yeah.
Just effortless.
He was the comic that before Chappelle that people would memorize bits, and they would memorize the voices he did, and he had a joke about it. He was like meta. He'd be like, these white people are in the office going, hey, and then he said this. and people did that with Pryor probably too, but those comics, like, that's rare that you have somebody where they're just like memorizing it in their cadence, and like everybody knows like all the bits, like the ice cream bit and the Rocky bit, and the my favorite was like the Larry Holmes thing. I used to just do that over and over again with my friend, and then like when I like 7 million, like of course he's it's like if you were, I can't think of a real good hypothetical, but maybe, I don't know, if Jordan was still able to play, you're like paying Jordan to come back and play or something. And then I saw this tweet, and she'll never listen to this, so I don't care. It's like some female, this is bad to say it, Emily Heller, she's funny, but she tweeted out like she was mad that they canceled Tuca and Birdie, which is some Netflix show.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, great, Netflix, you have $70 million to offer Eddie Murphy, but not enough for Tuca and Birdie. It's like, that comic is funny. I've seen her. She's a funny comic, but just the disconnect to compare a cartoon that's on for one season to like the greatest stand-up comic maybe ever. I mean, Pryor and Chappelle are maybe better. Who knows? But in my opinion, at least up there in the arguments, you're going to compare a cartoon that's been on for one season, and I think it's probably just because her roommate writes it or some shit. But it's like that's the kind of shit that like and I'm a liberal, but the left doesn't realize. They'll say things that are like super, like I don't think that's racist for saying that, but you could definitely be like, well, that's a little racist, you know, like this is the greatest black entertainer of all time versus like some show a white chick writes who's your roommate. It's just like a crazy disconnect, and I see it all the time. People who are on the left, like the people at mics, you know, where they'll be like, they'll be bombing, and they'll be like, performing in front of a bunch of white guys, but then there's like 5 people in the room that aren't white. It's all the time, right? Am I wrong? Does that not happen all the time?
You're absolutely right.
You're just sitting there. I'm white now. I'm both. I can be Mexican. I can be white.
Oh,
maybe tomorrow I'll be black too.
Absolutely. I had a comic, and it's funny because I turned down a booking on a West Hollywood show that I will not get booked on now. But basically what happened was this person was like, yeah, fucking the way that guys talk to women, and like this person pointed, she's like you, like I bet you like fucking your girlfriend, and like I bet you don't even fucking understand what it is to, and she was giving me shit about fucking a woman. And she was like, well, and like she wanted me to answer. And I go, I'm fucking gay. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm sorry. And I said, I go, no, we've met.
Oh.
Like we've met before. And she's like, oh my God, okay, well, now I've got to give you a spot on my show. And I was like, I don't want it because you fucked up.
Right.
I want it because I'm a funny gay comic, you asshole. Like,
yeah.
I've seen who you book, and I'm not saying I'm better. I'm saying I should be on that fucking show. But what's funny about it is, yeah, dude, if you're white and then you're in an open mic group, it's like they can fucking tee off on you.
Right.
And it's just like, it doesn't bother me because I don't like white people. But it makes me happy, and there's a part of me that's like, go, but then I'm like, but what about Brendan? Like,
thanks.
What
man.
about Rob Banks? Like,
there's some good ones.
There's just an island of white people that I want to keep. No, but it annoys me though because I consider myself a liberal, or at least I did.
Yeah,
and I can't get on board with a lot of shit. Like, You know, I have friends that are very right wing, and it's shitty, but their jokes have been landing with me better lately. I don't know why the fuck that is, but it's just
Probably just because we're annoyed with some of the stuff. I keep burping because I'm drinking these.
I know I am too. I'm like, we keep talking in breaths like this.
I don't know. I mean, like, I used to think that conservative people just weren't that funny because there wasn't a good, like, I made a lot of them, but now, I mean, there actually are a lot of comics that have like a conservative slant that are like the super funny, like Tim Dillon.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really think he's conservative like everybody says, but he definitely has a not left slant. And then like DePaulo before he went insane. And then just some people I know, my best friend is a conservative now, and he's one of the funniest people I know. But I don't know if it's because of like I think that's just probably always been, and I haven't noticed it. But I mean, like, I am in no way conservative. I'm liberal on pretty much every issue, except for some things. But the way that some people like that, their blindness to like, I think if you don't realize when you say something like, oh, Netflix $70 million to Eddie Murphy, but not Tuca and Birdie, that's like, what is that? That's to me, that's like someone who's blind.
Yeah.
It's not just subjective. It's like ridiculous.
It doesn't make sense. Well, and it's funny because I was talking with, of all people, it was one of Luke's buddies that I'm friends with now too. His name's Jordan, and he's conservative. I mean, took me to a gun range because I just no. We call it Jordan Bauer's Penis Power.
Good name.
Right, that's a strong name. Conservative and gun owner and all of that good stuff. But honestly, like, we get along great. And the thing of it is we don't talk politics,
right.
But in the same breath too, like, he doesn't give me shit for being gay, and he could. Like, not everybody's cool with that shit.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why, like, for me, it's a double-edged sword where it's like, okay, you know, here I am, this gay guy, and it's just like a lot of people. I've been surprised, like even Joey Diaz, I was shocked, and you know that was one of the things that he confronted me about. Was he was like, you know, it bothered me that you were timid that I didn't like gay people, and he's like, and that was as far from the truth as it ever was, and he's right. I mean, that guy grew up around some tough fags, dude.
Yeah,
like,
I've heard him talk about it. Yeah,
back when if you were out, you were going to get jumped, you were going to get robbed, and he's like, you had to fucking protect yourself,
right?
And so, you know, whenever I see a conservative, I end up getting along with a lot of them, and sometimes with liberals, it's like, you know, like, don't give me shit for saying fag. It's like,
yeah.
You know, what your experience, and I get it too, though, because it's a hard thing to discuss, because I was never beat up for my sexuality, like,
yeah, that's true.
and I never had to hide anything, because honestly, I'm not like, I don't know, and it's, again, I have to be careful too with this, because I'm like, I'm not more effeminate. But it's not because I'm afraid of that either, because I'm actually attracted to that in a weird fucking way.
Like, I'm just a freak, you know, I need to come, basically, is what I'm saying. I mean, I see it from both sides. I agree with some of the stuff that calling it the left sounds weird, but that's the only way I have to call it. It's like, I agree with a lot of the stuff they say about people not saying words and being like, because some people are such jerks, like they're not sensitive at all to what people think. So I'm not, and like, you can, but I think that a lot of times with conservatives or the ones that are cool, it's like they just don't care what you say. So like, that's cool. And if they want to be, and the way I look at conservatives, and I'll say it to their face, I do it all the time, they're just suckers. If they want to be suckers, that's on them. If you think that, you know, everything, the rich are out there looking out for you, and like, you know, they're gonna, you know, when you get cancer, they're gonna be there for you, you know, or like when they fire you, it's not because they just wanted to buy a new yacht. It's because they don't have any money for you, Jed. and like your family's gonna suffer, your wife's gonna leave you, like all that shit. Like if that's what you think, fine, just be a sucker, and like live until your safety net is cut off. If that's what you want to do,
and die.
Yeah, that's fine. Do that. But the only thing that bothers me is like these people that are just annoying. Like they don't put any thought into how what they say or their actions affect other people because they think they're justified because they're in the right. I don't know, politically or something. But then there's just like rude and annoying people that are terrible to deal with.
And that's, I don't know, I guess because of comedy, because I was amazed at how many more conservatives are doing comedy now. Because people have told me, they're like, oh, from back home, they're like, oh, well, I'm sure in California it's got to be, left central, and it's just, all you, and I'm like, actually, not really.
It's probably more that the conservative lean out here than in New York, where they're like, when you look at social media, it's like they're on a war or something. They're arguing over podcasts. And
exactly.
Like, do you guys have time to do stand up? You just tweet. And you interview Nazis, and then you like, I don't know, blow them, or like you don't blow them.
Really? Then you
it's like they're crazy out there. It's like they don't even care. They're like, oh, you got to move to New York. That's where you get good at stand up. Is it or is it where you like get sucked into like a vacuum of hatred,
an agenda?
Yeah, or there are Russian people who have a podcast that are like, look, America is shit. And then it's like the number one podcast, and there's like a podcast about jizz. And that's like, well, we can't have the podcast about jizz if we can't have the podcast about lesbians. How come the lesbian podcast gets less ads from Jewel than the one that Wix.com gets? They sponsor.
Down with Jewel. Down with Jewel. Are you coming to the march?
If we can't interview this guy who's a skinhead that's killed 5 Afghanistani students, then is comedy even real anymore?
Talking Feather, you get the Sharpies and I'll bring the board. All right, we need to write these posters.
They don't have real names. That's what they don't even have real names. They're
Talking
like
Feather, Honey Tree.
Their stage name. My stage name is representative of my beliefs. I won't go by my white name anymore.
You monsters. You will bow at the feet of pussy power. What?
Yeah.
What? Isn't it
Which
pussy
side are you on?
derogatory?
I don't know. I'm mad.
I'm mad, and I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
They've gone insane because they have to ride the metro every day, and like a homeless dude jacks off next to them. That's fair. At least I don't have to do that. If I see a homeless guy jacking off, I'm driving by him. I'm not sitting next to him. You can only get good if you do 6 mics a night in New York and then smell poop on the metro.
And 2 of them have to be at a pizzeria and a laundromat.
There's rats with pizza out here.
So, man, I got to have you on again, Brendan. This has been a fucking kick in the ass. Time flies, I guess, when you're having fun.
Absolutely. It was great.
You know what I mean? Do you have any shows coming up, man?
Well, I got to message people for shows. But see me in October. I got a few shows in October at the Ice House in San Luis Obispo. And then Cooney or Die. Follow me if you liked any of my shit, especially if you're Irish. If any Irish people are out there, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And then I'll probably do another Cooney or Die video. Remember that political thing? I'm going to do that this weekend. Might be about donuts.
There's also a music video that in my humble opinion, you got the greatest performance out of Keith Kelly.
Keith Kelly, open mic legend, very funny, controversial comedian. Check him out. He never he cancels on shows. He has no interest in success, but it was so funny.
But goddamn, what is he? That guy.
That's somebody you could literally say the worst things about ever because he'll never hear anything.
Never listen to it. Yeah, I don't know much about him.
I don't know much about him either, but I used to make up stuff about him online. Like if I saw a weird treehouse once and I said that's where he lived. He's a funny guy.
Dude, I used to have this dream of doing like an Insomniac show. but I wanted to go to different gay bars and like different things like that.
Yeah.
And my dream was to have you as a correspondent.
I know you told
on
me this dream.
Yeah, and I wanted you to go to like a very like S&M club where it was like leather night at like the gayest bar, and just have you with a microphone and I don't know if you can find it again, but gentle listeners, if you get a chance, there's this video of Brendan Cooney dancing, and he's shit-faced.
Oh yeah, the Dominican Republic. I almost died.
What was so amazing about it was the intent on your face was just so, you were dancing and you were so like it in my idea, it's how they dance in Russia with no emotion. Just complete buzzed, and you were just dancing like, and you were doing one move, but you were doing it with your fucking heart's desire.
Well, I had about 25 of their 1% beers. What is this beer called? El Presidente? So I can drink 40 of them is what you're saying. That's just the least alcohol ever. You have to drink so much to drown in the pool.
And you were in like a Hawaiian shirt that like Brad Pitt would have worn in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's what I wore to the wedding. Yeah. And I as the officiant, my friend was like, so you're going to go get your suit, right? And I was like, you told me it was beach attire. He's like, oh, my bad, dude.
Did you really? So you were wearing the Hawaiian shirt because
that's what you're supposed to wear. Beach attire? Am I gonna wear a suit? Nobody else was in a suit except for the best man and everybody else. No, there's a bunch of people in Hawaiian shit, but the best man didn't wear a suit. Bastard.
Say you might lose your mind if you don't find the time to lose your fucking mind and just have a good time. Even have a real good time.
Alrighty, so that was Brendan Cooney. I told you, fucking hilarious, right? They're all hilarious. If they're on the show, goddammit, they're funny. Or interesting, I don't know. Regardless, again, at Cooney or Die, COONEY or Die. Check him out, give him a follow. He's got some shows coming up. Make sure you follow him. Make sure you find out when those shows are. He won't let you down. None of the comics on this show will. So, until next time, guys, take care. Thanks for listening.
Downtown, Maxwell House is going down by the railroad trail.